And this is the Mendocino Historical Review Board hearing for August 4th, 2025, and this is staff people.
All right. Do I need to use this?
Only if you want to.
All right. Hello all. Thanks for joining. I'm filling in for Holly today. You're gonna have to pardon my lack of knowledge of all this important information that I don't have to be speaking on. But calling the meeting to order at 6 o'clock on the 4th of August, 2025. Planner Jesse Wellman, can you take a roll call?
Yes, we can. And we have Holly Magical absent by pre-arrangement, and Julian Lopez.
Here.
And Review Board Member Alan Sanders.
Here.
Justine Herbert. Here. Deirdre Lamb.
Here.
And for the record, we have Planner Jesse Wellman for Mendocino County Planning and Building Services.
All right. Great. So, Jesse, was there proper notice established for the meeting?
Proper notice has been established.
Okay. And then the item number 4 on the agenda, approval of minutes for July 7th, 2025.
I would ask the review board if there was any comments or revisions, and
comments or
I'm going to
revisions?
close the door.
All right.
I was absent, so I don't have any comments on the minutes.
Okay. Do we need to have a vote for that, Jesse? Okay. Call the vote.
A motion.
A motion.
Have a motion to approve.
All right. Second that.
Oh, actually, I think the chair can't. So
Oh,
that's
All right.
Second by Alan.
Yeah.
A motion by
Justine.
Justine Herbert and a second by Alan Sanders, and a vote for a roll call vote. Deirdre Lamb.
I abstained because I wasn't here for the meeting, so I don't feel confident about voting.
Approved, yes.
And Julian Lopez.
Yes.
Okay. And the motion moves to accept the minutes for July 7th. Thank you.
Okay. And has there been any other correspondence received that weren't posted on the agenda?
Yes, our office for planning and building services, we did receive a request for a topic that was not on the agenda. It was from Deirdre Lamb. It should have been emailed. It has been posted on site, and I did print copies to that. You could talk about it during matters of staff or now, since it was not on the agenda. I put it under correspondence.
I think we can push it back to matters for staff. It's okay.
That was really sad.
Kind of after the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will note that. Thank you.
Report from the chair. We'll skip that one because Holly's not here,
No.
right? Okay, item agenda number 7, public expression. The review board welcomes participation. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person and not more than 10 for a subsequent agenda item, so that everyone may be heard. Public expression items are limited to matters under the jurisdiction of the review board that are not on today's meeting agenda, and items that were not previously considered by the review board. Any notes?
No.
No? Okay.
Would,
Or any
and then you would
comments?
ask the public. You would
Oh,
ask
yeah,
the
okay.
public.
Does anybody have anything to say? Okay, move on to item number 8, the consent calendar. There are 2 items on the consent calendar. The first being item 8A, MHRB 2023, number 12, and item 8B, MHRB 2024, number 3. The review board may hear public comments on the consent item before a motion offered. Does a review member wish to remove the consent calendar agenda item to the public hearing part of today's meeting? Okay. To go on to the chair, state the following.
No, you would want to ask
No.
staff if any correspondence or telephone calls have been received.
Okay, have there?
No.
Okay. So the review board welcomes participation in the meeting. If you would like to, do I have to do this again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you would like to speak on consent calendar items, please use the podium. Please state your name for the record. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person. Speakers are asked to address their comments to the meeting chair. Staff will announce when you have 30 seconds remaining.
You would ask the public if there's any comments.
Are there any comments? I thought I just did that.
So the podium, by the way, got removed because it was part of the rental and they took it, so that's the new podium.
And then, so the public hearing's closed, and then you go to the board.
Okay. So ask them if they have any comments? Any comments for the board?
No.
Okay.
And you would invite a motion. You would ask the board for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve case number MHRB 2023-0012, Trillium Cafe. The Mendocino Historical Review Board request to enclose the existing deck, adding additional interior dining and continue the use of the temporary tent for outdoor dining associated with the established restaurant Trillium Cafe and Inn to be removed upon commencement of construction of a permanent trellis pergola at the existing outdoor dining patio at the Trillium Cafe.
So the motion would actually be.
Do I need to add the minor alteration request or?
Deirdre Lim, if I may through the
Yeah,
chair.
go ahead.
The motion would be to approve the consent calendar
Correct,
rather than specifying each specific item on the consent calendar. He just didn't.
correct. I'm making a move to approve the consent calendar item number MHRB 2023-0012.
Only one, or if you're
Oh.
gonna separate the two, are you
Oh,
proposing?
no, we can do them both at the same time. I thought we had to do one at each time.
The consent calendar is one item.
That's what
And
okay.
you
I'd
can
like to also approve, MHRB 2024-0003, owner applicant Tom Colson of the Mendocino Village Inn and Agent Deborah Lennox.
Do we have, and then you ask.
Do we have a second?
You have a second?
I'll second that.
And then we'll do a vote. Justine Herbert.
I would like to go over the second 8B a little bit, the Mendocino Village Inn. I'm just wondering, was that already approved, the plan?
It was approved, but there's a box that they're gonna be putting up to put a transformer from PG&E, is that correct, Jesse?
Yes,
Okay.
so if there's requests from the review, if I may through the chair, if there's requests to discuss topics that are on the consent calendar, then that item should be stated, and then we would pull it from the consent calendar and we would retract the motion on the table to approve the consent calendar. And we could pull the item that is wished to be discussed and put that in order on the regular agenda, public hearing agendas.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I vote to approve.
So just for clarification for staff, the motion to accept the consent calendar has been made by Deirdre Lamb, seconded by Alan, and I'm gonna go back to a roll call. So Justine Herbert.
Yes.
Yes. And Julian Lopez.
Yes.
And the motion moves to accept the consent calendar. An action notice will be sent tomorrow by staff, and staff will pick up your building permits at the same time.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Very smooth.
Yeah, that's quick.
Good job, Julian.
Call that smooth.
All right, so now we move on to item number 9. Okay. Okay, public hearing. So this is MHRB 2025-006. The permit is an after-the-fact permission to install 3 electric vehicle charging stations enclosed in wooden cabinets. So can we move this to public expression?
You would do a staff presentation.
Okay, staff presentation, so that's for you.
Leonard Waldman for Mendocino County Planning and Building Services. And this is the Mendocino Historical Review Board Application 2025, number 6, for the McCallum House Suites for installation. The request is the after-the-fact permission to install 3 electric vehicle charging stations enclosed in wooden cabinets. The property is located at 10691 Pallet Drive. And the staff reports, I should grab it, I apologize, I didn't bring that with me. Was prepared by Mark Kleiser, and I am going to represent him today. And I just want to go to it. I apologize, I should have opened that beforehand. There have been two previously approved MHRB permits requesting the exact request for the after-the-fact electric car charging stations. They have both expired. The applicant is under code enforcement and the code enforcement division is pushing for a resolution, and the applicant is proposing to install 3 charging stations at this parcel. Currently, we have a building permit. So that is the request, to install 3 electric charging stations on site. And the staff report presented to you today, there are the standard Mendocino Historical Review Board conditions recommended, but there are also there's 2 additional. And I'm gonna read those for the record. Number 6 says, prior to the expiration of this MHRB permit, the property owner shall demonstrate to Mendocino County Code Enforcement staff that violations have been resolved to the satisfaction of Mendocino County. And number 7, the second additional condition recommended, is that vehicle charging cabinets shall be stained wood. New or replaced exterior building materials shall not include use of imitation or synthetic materials such as aluminum or vinyl siding, imitation stone, imitation brick, plastic laminate beams, concrete blocks or boards, stucco and or asbestos shingles or panels or plywood panels. Staff is recommending approval of these with those conditions presented to you in the staff report. I will tell you that this applicant, we did a site visit to the site today, and the board had many questions about the reason for the project to be in front of the board for a 3rd time. And with the condition 6, as stated, the Code Enforcement Division is seeking resolution. And there's currently a building permit application that's under review with Planning and Building Services. And this project, the applicant is not present. However, there is building code requirements for accessibility in the state of California that may affect the design that's proposed in this plan. So there may be revisions that have come up to get a satisfactory building permit. If those revisions for accessibility required a minor alteration, staff could prepare a minor alteration. Trying to think about all the different things. We talked about 3 different options at the the site visit today. One was approve with the consideration that there may be the minor alterations for accessibility requirements. 2 was to continue to a date certain. And 3 was to continue to a date uncertain, which would incur fees upon the applicant. And those were the 3 conditions or 3 considerations we were talking about at the site visit. So as proposed, the design in the building in the MHRB staff report would not satisfy the building requirements for accessibility. And that was new information presented to staff. And that concludes my presentation for this 2025 number 6 application. Staff has not received public comment. Staff did speak with the applicant and they are not present. They said they were going to try to be here, but they are not present, nor were they at the site visit. Do you have any questions for staff?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, Jesse, Deirdre Lamb. Okay, at the site visit, it appears that since the first two applications were done, that there's been some additional ADA requirements that have now come up in statewide or countywide or whatever that happens to be, where there was a mention that perhaps there might have to be some lines painted on the road near the charging stations. We're just talking about the Pallet Drive application right now. We'll talk about the other one when that comes up. And that there may have to be some little bumps put in. And it was your answer then that I just wanted to get on record that if this application was approved, that the board could approve it with minor alterations for them to come back for no fee for the ADA requirements. Could you clarify that?
I can.
Thank
So
you.
the board today could approve the staff report as proposed in front of the board today. If the board would like to recommend revisions to the staff report that is presented today, we would want to discuss those items. The Mendocino Historical Review Board has established a policy for minor alterations should they happen after a project is approved and a MHRB permit is issued and active. So within 2 years of an active MHRB approval, an applicant may come in with minor alterations and it will be reviewed at that time in the future.
And then would it be brought before the board again?
Yes, it would, on the consent calendar item.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
So what they're like, if they become compliant with the new ADA rules, they'll bring a new proposal that we'll see, because they might be putting like bright yellow bumps in the middle of something. It might not look. Do we have authority over that? Basically, what he can make ADA approved?
Okay, thank you for that question. I feel that question is 2 parts. I feel that one part of the question is, does the review board have authority over the California Building Code? And the answer to that is no.
Colors?
Yeah.
No.
The second part of the question is, does the review board have the authority to approve or disapprove of exterior alterations on a parcel within Zone A? Yes.
Okay.
So if the board has been here before in the past, and what we have, just to kind of back up and look at a bigger picture of it, is what we have the historical district that was built before there were building code requirements, and part of the building code requirements in California is that when a project or an owner wants to make improvements on their property, they also have to make improvements for different levels of access for the state codes.
Yeah.
And the board and Mendocino County cannot deviate from the state codes. However, there are exceptions in the state code. I am not a building inspector. I do not know all of the rules, regulations, requirements, and exemptions in the building code. We've been here before with a couple of different projects. There was ADA requirements at the Masonic Temple, also known as the Savings Bank, where they put in an ATM and they needed to have accessibility requirements. And there's a lot of new concrete. There's also the corner of Caston Street and Main Street where there's accessibility requirements. There's also the Baptist Church recently, in the last 5 years recently. They did a deck expansion and it required accessibility, and it wasn't known at the time of the MHRB application. So the minor alteration policy that the board has approved kind of allows for those specific types of instances when this is the picture we want to have, but there's a state regulation that we have to adhere to.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an obstacle that is facing this specific project at the Pallet Drive site with MHRB 25-6, as well as the next item.
So I would have a request that if it comes back, which it probably will for minor alterations, you said that there are options in the building code that still meet requirements for the ADA, but it may not be what they present. We may say we don't like this as an alternative. So my request would be when that, and I want this minute to bring it into action, when that comes back for a
If it's
minor
approved.
alteration, then we need somebody here who can answer the question, is there an alternative and is it allowed? And I don't know who that would be, but that would be, otherwise we'll just be thrashing in the dark when we do it. So is that understood? Do you know what I'm saying?
What I believe that's being asked is that staff bring back a building inspection approved construction set of plans should a minor alteration come forward.
No, it's not what I asked.
So you
What
would like to
I
have
asked was, if they're gonna come to us first, right, with a minor alteration, and building plan or not, we may not like it. We may say, is there an alternative that's acceptable to the ADA, and we will need to know that at the time, otherwise we'll thrash around it.
It sounds like it comes back on the consent calendar.
So,
If we approve it tonight, it'll come back on the consent calendar with alterations, so.
Right, and that can be pulled if you don't like it. What I think what Alan is asking is if a representative from the state or
we
whatever.
need somebody who can say,
Could show that
let's
we
say
need-
they wanna put down orange bumps. We say we don't want orange bumps.
Mhm.
Is there an alternative? Can they be yellow or pink or green, doesn't really matter.
We don't
And we
know.
need to know the answer to that question when we go through the modification. We can't say we don't know if that's inside the building code or not, because then it'll just go round another route. That's a request. It may not be meetable, but that's a request. Does that make sense now, Jesse?
I just feel we don't have quite enough information to just approve with alterations.
Well, we can approve it, but my concern, my question is when it comes back, which it undoubtedly will do for modification, we need to know what our degrees of freedom are.
as an option to go forward is, we could amend this staff report with an additional, no, because we don't know what that is. I'm thinking about online codes and processes.
You were okay until you said there were maybe
Can I
alternatives. if we don't
discuss
like
for a
it.
second with you, Alan? I don't know if she can require that.
I'm making a request, but I
A
said
California official come to
it
this
may not be meetable or not, but it'd be nice if we could do that, if we had some idea.
I think what would be the best, what would be a good option is that, how do I do that? Staff can recommend to the owner and agent, for the minutes of this meeting and for the action. It's not an action. If you approve it, but you have a recommendation, we could make a recommendation number 8 and put that in, that if there's deviations from this, materials and colors need to be known.
That they have to come back before the board. Okay.
Yeah, I suspect you can't do what I want, that's really the answer, so.
The other thing is that as a courtesy to the applicant who is not present, staff can say it's highly recommended that you listen to the meeting because we do record it and we do have it available online to hear your specific recommendation. Staff will do that no matter how we do that, whether, I'm just not sure if I can amend this staff report. However, when it comes back, or if it came back as a minor alteration, the board has the power to say, no, we do not find this as a minor alteration, and we require more addition, and then they have to come
But
back.
you're missing the point. He just wants to have an expert say, hey, look, this is an alternative to what you guys present.
You were okay until you said in your spiel that, you know, there are rules, but there are exceptions to rules that are acceptable. And so my point was that if we don't like something, we need to know, is there an alternative that's acceptable? And it sounds like we really can't get someone here that can say that. So if that happens, we're going to have to go around again. So that's all I need to know.
We
Yeah.
can't request that the owner present that
No,
information.
it's not a question for the owner, it's a question for building and planning, because they have to say the alternative is acceptable.
But it does sound like we have to go around again. If you don't
Right.
like it, then it has to go back,
Has
and
to
then they
go
have to come back. Hello.
Okay, that's fine.
That's rude.
We stop there.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
For staff,
No.
is there anything else for staff?
No.
Okay,
All right.
Sorry for that.
Oh, it's okay.
Goes back to the discussion for the board.
Public.
Yeah, the review board welcomes
Ellie
participation in meetings.
That's right.
If
You
you
have
would
somebody.
like to speak on the McCollum House Suites Shepherd application, please use the podium. Please state your full name for the record, public comment, if you know the deal. Kelly. Thank you.
Kelly Grimes, at the risk of pissing off the owner, Mr. Shepherd. First of all, I'd like to point out, this is after the fact. The owner is not showing up, so that's 2 strikes where he's giving you guys absolutely zero respect. And so I think that's a bad thing. There's no reason that you have to approve this just because it's after the fact, it's already installed. Don't feel pressured to approve things. And to answer your question, Alan, it's not up to the staff to give alternatives. It's up to the owner. If you don't like the pink dots that they need to put in the middle of the road or whatever, then they need to go away and come back with an alternative. And the ADA is very specific on what you need to do, but there are many different examples of, typically you see the blue symbol of the wheelchair at the parking spot. I've seen them made out of grass and embedded in gravel. So there are alternatives to all of these things, but it's the onus of the owner to come up with those alternatives. It's not up to you guys to determine, what the alternatives is or feel bad about turning something down. If you don't feel it fits in your town, turn it down. He's asking for electric vehicle charging stations to better his business. There's no reason that you have to make that a reality. If you don't like what the rules are, if they need to put up a big pink flag at the charging station, then you can turn it down. Don't feel pressure to approve this.
Thank you.
It's my 2 cents. Or 3.
Any other public comment?
Nope. Sure. No.
So we're gonna turn this to,
I have
matters for this,
Discussion
the
for the
board,
board.
discussion for the board.
just that this was a recent request, I guess Jesse said this morning about the accessibility requirement. So we don't really know, I'm just stating what we already, the obvious, so we don't know quite what the signage requirements are at this point. So I think Mr. Grimes made a valid point about,
I think what happened was that in the original request, which was years ago, right? And then there was a second request. I think there's ADA responsibilities that the owner needed to put in his plan back then. What she's saying is that there had been some additional ADA requirements.
okay, additional.
So
today.
what he did was he put the chargers in, whenever it was. Do we have the date on that? Or no?
no.
Okay, whenever it was, and he was then required to change the way that his charging area was in order to become ADA compliant. But he's just put it off.
When was he first required to do that? Do the
When
accessibility?
he got code enforcement call on him, right?
Was that a
Okay.
year ago?
I might
This is a matter for discussion.
I am discussing.
We're discussing it.
I'd like to have it on this.
Jesse, let me hear from Jesse real quick, and then we'll go back to the discussion.
If I may through the chair. The building permit that we're reviewing is from 2019, and that is a violation building permit, meaning that the violation was made to code enforcement in or before 2019. And within the staff report, the MHRB permit 2018, number 8, was for the first historical review board request for 3 charging stations after the fact. The 2022 permit from the historical review board permit also. So 2018 I don't know the date of the installation, and I do not know the date of the code enforcement.
Thank you. Got that information? I think that, but yeah, we don't know. Deidre, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I did. I was gonna say that it doesn't, I don't know that it really matters if there originally was ADA, because now, no matter what, there's more ADA. And so they're gonna have to comply with whatever ADA is. So I think from what I heard was if this item is approved and they have to get all their ADA revisions, they have to come before us, and then you can look at it and say, no, I don't really like this. And then they might have to go back again and revise it again. But whatever was original probably has changed, is what we heard at the site view. Because additional ADA requirements of bumps and things have, yes, is that right, Timothy?
If I may through the chair, I believe that the building permit that would, that where we're running into the accessibility requirements for the building code regulations, I believe that none of the accessibility requirements have been proposed as of yet.
So I guess the question is, to Mr. Drake's point too, are we, how am I put this? We don't know what they're going to do, but we do know that it will have to be ADA compliant. That's point number one. So if there was a very rigid set of instructions about making ADA compliant, bringing it back here wouldn't matter because we couldn't do anything because they were forced to do that. Once you say there are potentially alternatives that still meet the ADA, then that means we really want to see it again. So my question is, does it automatically come back here? Or if they meet the ADA requirements for the building permit, do we never see it again?
If I may through the chair.
There's three options. One is to.
So I understand the three options. What I want to know is if they put together a building permit which is accepted by the building planning as ADA compliant, does that count as a minor modification to this approval and have to come back here? Or will it just proceed and we'll never see it again?
If the building division, if the planning and building services approve a building permit that does not match the proposal underneath this permit, it will come back.
But there is no proposal that we can look at.
Yeah, there's no.
That's correct.
There's no.
So they will have to propose something.
What?
Planning and building services and code enforcement are requiring a building permit to be obtained for the EV charging stations,
Yes.
as well as the MHRB approval.
Yes.
And the building permit will not be issued if it deviates from what is proposed in front of you today. If there are deviations for accessibility requirements, it will come back to the board at that time with those proposals by the applicant or owner.
So all we're approving today is the original plan as it stood, and because that will be modified to meet the ADA requirements, it will automatically come back here as a minor modification.
Yes, and then the board has the power to say, we believe it's minor or no.
I have a question for
That's fine.
staff.
That's all I wanted to know.
Was there ever a building permit, like drawings or anything of what was planned, even after the fact? In the last couple
Yes.
iterations? There have been?
There was.
But not with accessibility requirements for the California.
No, there
building
was.
So what was it? Was it
There
just-
was drawings of the boxes.
No,
the
and they
boxes
had
as they are
diagrams and- Yeah, they had.
And you guys, but you approved it after the fact?
Not a building permit, if I may, through
We
the
approved it
chair.
after the fact, 'cause-
So they just drew what they built?
yeah.
Okay.
But there's no building, they never got a building permit, that's why they're back here after the fact. They're violators. They didn't respect the process.
Yeah.
And so they're back here trying to, sneak it in the back door. Sorry.
Well, they're not saying.
Anything else?
They have a proposal.
Anything else from the board? I think maybe it merits a little bit more conversation. I mean, I think that I think the applicant, he should be here with something in hand, or at least say, hey, look, this is what I'm planning to do. Deidre did mention that he said that he was maybe thinking about just getting rid of him because it's been such a big headache. Now, not trying to, sway anybody either way, but I think that those are facts that should be put out in the open, just acknowledge it, that he's not here, and that there is no,
Yeah, we're kind of in the dark
Yeah.
a little bit.
a little bit.
And
Are we still discussing?
Yes.
we are still discussing.
Okay, because I'd like to just say that I don't feel any, it's after the fact, but I do feel like he did make another application and submit it, and for him, this is round 3 because he's already been through it, and the presentations a couple of times, and so I don't feel any, I do feel like he should be here, but I don't feel any anger.
Deidre, I think that the reason why he's continuing to pay the $800, $900 is so he doesn't rip them off. Because they think that he's saying that he doesn't want to put immediate accessibility for that. Because it's a way to prolong this code enforcement process.
I don't know. Without him
Have
being
you been
there, I
raising
don't
your
know
hand?
that.
No. Yes, Jesse?
I would like to just say that the owner and applicant has paid their fees for the NHRB, and they have not completed the building permit requirement, and it just will continue to go back to code enforcement. If this was approved as today for just the station tower cabinets and the EVs where they are, it will come back to staff when they comply with the building regulations. And
I mean, are you guys thinking of as code enforcement red flag anything? I mean, will they put red tape over it and say that you guys have to shut your business if you don't fix this?
so planning staff is not able to speak on all of the different regulations for the code enforcement division. I think that if the board was to either deny, continue to a date uncertain, continue to a date certain, approve or approve with modifications, if you were to deny this project, it will go back to code enforcement. Also, you have to have a finding, and we can discuss what those actual findings are to deny this project. You could approve it and knowing very well all that it is going to have to come back because of the building requirements. And that presentation, Planning and Building Services has already recommended to the owner that the building permit be applied for with revisions to show the accessibility and it get the building division's approval prior to it coming to the board again with that minor alteration. This permit, if it was approved or approved with modifications, they would not be subject to the fees for reapplying a new MHRB permit. They do pay triple fees for commercial violations. So I just wanted to just elaborate, there's different avenues, maybe I'm going.
So he's gonna pay triple fees to the building department?
Has.
He already has. Wow. Yeah, so he's prolonging he just doesn't have to do it.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I don't know within that.
You don't know that. I shouldn't have said that. I assumed that and I don't know
Okay,
this.
so-
If he was here, I could have asked him, but.
I disagree
Okay.
with it maybe just being for his business. I feel like electric charging stations are the thing of the future, and they're a service to the community. And we don't really have very many. We have a couple at your place, like what, 2? There's 3 up at the Pallet Drive, and then there's the 3 at the McAllen. We don't have any other charging stations in this town, and I feel like it's a community
I
service
agree.
for people who have electric cars who
I
go here.
agree with you.
And they don't have to go to Fort Bragg, or maybe they won't even make it to Fort Bragg after they come from 200 miles or whatever. I mean, I've had people that, they have to have lunch because their car isn't gonna make it another 5 miles. So it's a community service to have these stations. I feel like we're doing the community a service by approving these, and I don't see that it's not ADA compliant. You can just pull right up and put the hose in your car. What's the deal? Take your wheelchair out and wheel over there. I don't know.
Alan, you have anything to say?
No, I'm happy to approve because despite what Andrew said, I don't feel pressured, but I do feel a responsibility not to overburden the business with fees. So provided once we approve this, it is gonna come back for minor modifications to show exactly what is gonna happen, then I'm okay. That's the crux of the matter. If it wasn't gonna come back, then I would deny this, but assuming it comes back so we can actually see what is being done, then I'm okay.
I wish he was here.
So do I, but it still wouldn't change our comment, because
It would, because we would ask us, are you gonna?
he doesn't know exactly what he's gonna do yet, he can't show us a picture.
I don't know if this is really a little unfeasible, but it's like, could we just kind of table this whole thing and just sort of,
We're basically, by voting yes, you're tabling it.
Well, yeah, we could do it.
Because we're gonna see it again.
it's like tabling it, because really, it's just
Yeah,
a
it's
time.
gonna come back.
It's
As
just
long
a
as it
time
comes
issue.
back, as
It's
long as
just
it
a-
comes back.
It's just an issue of we don't have a certain chunk of information yet
Yeah.
about the visual quality of these,
Right,
changes.
it does have to come back.
So that's why I was saying we could just table it, and it's like we didn't
But
even.
then
So
it
it's effectively what we're doing.
Do we have a motion?
Alan, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I motion to approve. Whichever number it is, MHRB 2025-000.
I second the motion.
Do you have a second?
You do have a second, would you like a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
All right. Justine Hurt
I move to approve.
and Julian Lopez.
I do.
All right, the motion passes to approve NHRB 2005.
I didn't vote, but what's up?
I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. I thought,
You second?
whatever, okay, I seconded it, so that's a vote. Okay,
I apologize. And Alan Sanders.
Yes.
All right, on to item agenda. Okay, go ahead.
You don't need to vote. You already.
Vote approved.
Seconded.
I know,
All
the
right,
minutes.
on the agenda item number 9B, this is the same owner, request,
Same thing.
after the fact permission to install 3 electric vehicle charging stations inside 2 moving enclosures at the McAllen's parking area, that's on, Albion Street, 45020 and 45040. The review board welcomes public comment. Anybody?
Oh,
Do I have to go
I
on?
guess he was gonna make a presentation.
Oh, you wanna do it? Okay, let's go. Thank you.
Just let me think. We're done.
I know you waited
Take your trial.
all for this.
Leonard Waldman from Mendocino County Planning and Building Services, and today we have NHRB 2005, number 0007, request for after-the-fact permission to install 3 electric vehicle charging stations inside 2 wooden enclosures at the McAllen House parking area. Please note, this site is listed in the Mendocino Town Appendix 1 as a Category 4A historical structure, that is the McAllen House Apartments, and also a Category 1 historical structure, the Kelly Barn, and also a Category 2A historical structure, Apple Shed. The parcel is located at 45020 and 45040 Albion Street in the town of Mendocino. And there have been, let's see, staff has prepared a staff report with the standard recommendations for the Mendocino Historical Review Board with 2 additional recommendations. Number 6, prior to the expiration of this permit, the property owner shall demonstrate to Mendocino County Code Enforcement County Code Enforcement staff that violations have been resolved to the satisfaction of Mendocino County. And 7, vehicle charging cabinet shall be stained redwood. New or replacement exterior building materials shall not use any imitation or synthetic materials such as aluminum, vinyl siding, imitation stone, imitation brick, plastic laminated beams, concrete boards, block or boards, stucco or asbestos shingles, panels or plywood panels. Staff is present this to the board today. Staff has not received any public comment And as we've been discussing throughout the evening and at our site visit, there are accessibility requirements with the California Building Code. And if you would like me to restate all of the different variety, I can, and that concludes staff's presentation. And
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you. No questions.
All right. So, I'd just like to say something about, public expression.
Yeah, you said the McCallum House is a 4A? I don't think so.
believe that the McCallum House itself is a category 1, and I will double check that for the record.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for
It's fine.
domineering that public comment. Sorry about that.
I think it's a 1 too. I think you're talking about McCallum Suites,
All right.
apartments for the.
Any further public expression? Can we table that and talk about it after our discussion, Jesse?
Sure.
The parking lot at the McCallum House, I feel like that those charges were just kind of thrown in the corner, and it's, I don't know. I think that the Pilot Drive situation is slightly different than the McCallum House, and I feel like they were just kind of thrown in there haphazardly with some wood and no. I mean, it doesn't look great. I think it looks a lot different than the one up there. And I just wanted to throw that out there. If you guys wanted to discuss that or counter that, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
And I thought from a visual point of view, other than where they are relative to the parking space, they were the same. I mean, they're the same locking mechanism, which is a bit rude. Same as flats and everything else. I think both places will have problems actually getting the space to park the cars. One because of the access, and the other because, well, both these access are unapproved, because it's probably what needs to be done. But in terms of what's there now, I thought it was the same as what was in being Pilot Drive officially, but they know what goes on.
Deidre?
It's exactly the same. The boxes are the same. It just looks different because it's in that parking lot, sort of in that space. And I feel like he's going to have his own issues with the McCallum House if he does decide to continue on with those boxes because of the ADA compliance, which was mentioned at the site visit by Planner Waldman, and that he may have to have enough room for a van. Is that correct, Jesse? Could you remind me how many feet that he may need to have for a van, and that he may need to add a 4th charging station across on the other side in order to have that.
That's kind of where I think would make the most sense to relocate those chargers.
Right.
And I don't know, I mean, he's not going to relocate them if we don't.
Well, but we can't ask him to relocate them. All we can do is vote
I understand.
yes or no on
I
his permit.
understand.
And I
But
think eventually he's gonna have to go through the ADA thing, and they're gonna tell him that's what he might have to do. So at this point, that's not really our purview, but
When I first visited a few days ago, I thought logically they would go better on the right. On the right side of the parking lot.
so maybe electrician wise, maybe it was challenging.
I mean,
there was a handicap sign on the right side. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, so then that would be the optimum place for him to put the handicapped.
You wouldn't have to put the concrete
Right.
across the.
Right, he could just
I
add
still-
another charger for the handicapped people, and, but there we go.
I still think they're inconspicuous. That's why I approved such they're inconspicuous.
There would. Yeah, you guys are right. They are the same. For some reason, they just look
Yeah,
more out of
I
place. They look more out of place in
The
that.
cables were hanging
And they're
out.
open and
Yeah.
everything, you know. So.
Looked more than-
The discussion is going to be interesting when he comes back with what he's going to do to meet the ADA requirements. That's what it's going to be.
All right.
Yeah. I'm not confident that he will be back. But anybody, is there a motion?
I just have one more statement.
Yes.
It's just a general statement that this is the after the fact, and it's, since it's after the fact, if it was a conspicuous change, then it would be, more of a conflict about approval. For me, this is inconspicuous, so I voted to approve. But still, we don't know what the eventual look of the whole thing will be. But I just want to emphasize that after the fact is not what the board wants. We want to look at designs up front.
The second that.
I agree with that.
Jesse?
Kelly's point is very valid.
Yeah.
Well, it was-
Just for the record, the staff member that prepared this staff report, the category, inventory for historical structures, for the record, this parcel is the McCallum House site is a large site, and the parking lot and the house is on one parcel, and there's the lawn area and the barn that are on a different parcel, and it's affecting both uses, because it's the same use, but it's across two parcels. So for the record, for the public's information and for clarification within the staff report, is that the McCallum House itself is a category 1. It is on the Mendocino Town Appendix B of Historical Inventory, and that site is the parcel number 119236-10, whereas the barn, the apartments at the Mac House are on 12. So just for the record,
Thank you.
that note should have been cut.
So you gotta talk to somebody.
No.
All right. Anything else from the board? No? Any motions?
I'll put a motion to this one to accept.
Accept, okay.
Motion 2020.
Accept, MHRB 20250007.
Thank you. Any second question?
Would you like a roll call?
Yes, please.
I'll try to do this correctly this time. Justine Herbert.
I vote to approve.
And Julia Wilkins.
Yes.
Approve.
And Alan Sanders.
Approve.
And Deirdre Lamb.
Approve.
All right, the motion to approve MHRB 2025 number 7 has been approved.
All right. So on to the next agenda item, number 10, matters from the board. Any? Done?
We, if I may, sure, we did choose at the beginning of the meeting to move the correspondence that was received to this portion
Thank
of the meeting.
All right, so now we can talk about the correspondence. I think it's from you, Deidre.
Yeah, it is. I was just wondering, okay, so if there is an item that's not an interior of a house, or it does not require going into a yard, I was just curious as to why the items for the electric EV charging stations that were already approved, and would be that they may not require a site view, because people can go on their own and do a site view, and it just, I mean, it worked out today because we did, because other members hadn't seen the plans of the sites, but it seemed to me that those sites could have been visited during hours that on your own. And that's how a lot of items used to be sometimes, that rather than taking, actually some and stuff, that taking the whole afternoon to go see a site visit, that it's an EV charging station. It's already been approved twice, it's coming before the board a third time, and anyone can drive up and go look at it. And so it was just and so then I mentioned it to Jessie, and she said, well, that's something that the chair has to decide. You have to discuss it with the chair. Well, the chair's not here. So I don't know if it really is a discussion or not. I just wanted other people's input on what they thought.
And we can bring it up next meeting with Holly.
Okay, fine.
I would say, the only thing I would say is two things. One, I appreciate the fact that the business owners have to take time out of their day, so I was surprised to see it move to 3:30. I thought it'd do a bit later. Even though I run on my own, I benefit from listening to everybody else talking about something, and I wasn't here when it was originally done.
Right.
So it was a, maybe not a great benefit, but it was a benefit to me.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I know, I understood that once we were there.
All right. Anything else from the board? Any other matters?
Good.
No? Okay, on to agenda Item 11, matters from the staff.
No matters from Zach, the same.
We did have one question. I guess that would be a matter from the board or the staff. The ad hoc committee that we were talking about, the windows, is that our responsibility to come up with a date or timeline for this conversation about windows? Do you have any guidance on that, Jesse?
So the planner Waldman, staff's understanding for the ad hoc committee is that the ad hoc committee can make, their own their own meeting times. There is no public hearing. You can meet in as many and as few times as you would like. When the time for the ad hoc committee is ready to present something back to the board, you will want to present your packet to planning and building services so we can schedule it for an item with proper noticing for the public. Inviting people or professionals or members of the community to your meeting is up to you. If you would like it to be noticed or announced anywhere, you could ask the planning and building services to put it on the bulletin board. And I would be double checking with our county council on noticing of that meeting.
Well, we can do a notice to have a meeting here or it be on the agenda, correct?
And then if you have questions about like legalities, about how to operate, I would say that please put those questions in an email to planning staff, myself, and I will take that to the director for further direction. There may be things that our office can assist with, meeting space, things like that, but sending out correspondence on what occurred during the non-public hearing or meetings for the commission, that will be solely up to the ad hoc committee, is my understanding.
Thank you. You
Okay, well, I've been on an ad hoc committee before for the paint committee. And we were only allowed to have 2 board members on it.
That's correct.
Yeah, so right now
Okay, so
the
who's
ad hoc committee is Jesse and
You
I.
and Justine, okay. So, because of the Brown Act, but then we were allowed to invite other professionals in.
That's what, yeah, she, I think.
Okay.
Did my list.
I wasn't here.
Does that answer all the questions? Do you have anything else for Jesse?
I was
Okay,
in New York, so.
great. So I think that's it. Adjournment?
The emotion for that.
Oh, motion.
You can do that.
A motion to adjourn.
I second.
Okay. Do we need to vote for that or no?
Just a gavel.
Just the guy.
Say all in favor.
All in
Any
favor.
opposed? Forget to give them an
Voice vote.
opportunity to.
All right.
And also for the record, it is
is
6:58.
unfold them, so.
Maybe we should start bringing out a couple chairs.